Thank you. Continuing on what you said, that this should be called more of engineering rather than engineering services, what NASSCOM has done so far is establishing a brand called India is IT. That's been very well established. All the credit to my good friend Harish and the rest of the leadership team that we had at NASSCOM to make it happen. The other ambition now we have from NASSCOM is to bring in a new brand further called Engineered in India. So my question for the panel is, what are your suggestions that you would like to make to us? And how do you bring about this brand called Engineered in India? Can you start with you, Tom? Right?
Well, the first thing I think of are the initials EI. That also stands for employee involvement. That gets fully into what we've been talking about integrating the engineers based in India with the rest of the enterprise and the rest of the global team developing products.
I think India has already established a great brand name, if you will, in the IT world. So I think India is perfectly poised to make the engineer in India actually the truth, if you will. And we just need to set the vision high enough and not simply target ourselves to low-end work. I think the vision needs to be in place today. If the vision is only about capturing all the low-end work in the world, that'll be okay for a few years, but pretty soon the low-end work is going to go to the next low-cost location. That could be Vietnam or Africa. But I think you need to set the vision high, and then I think you can make it happen.
I think I agree with previous two speakers. To add just one thing, my own experience with India is that as far as the people resources, India is at par or better. Means we have a very good talent here. All we need is to increase infrastructure, and I don't mean by infrastructure just like roads or anything. I mean the engineering infrastructure, which means a lot more plants where actually engineers learn by touching and feeling. So the test facilities, the labs, I think that would be the next step in order to bring engineer in India and getting it to the next level from low-end work, where actually engineers can design the product.
Well, I just say, more than what I got from the first two speakers. India, just telling the stories which are already there is a big part of it. A lot is happening right now. Just looking at nano is one example of it. I mean, we are part of the Bhusal automotive practice globally. Since nano was launched or became public, it's a reality. It's a real car with wheels and engine in it. The amount of inquiries we're getting from our clients to know what nano is phenomenal. I mean, we're making presentations that most of our clients start talking about nano, what is it? That's by itself happening. And if NASSCOM or India in general make those stories, like Mahindra and Scorpio, Shukrian doing their own trucks, the Bharat Forge being the world's largest forging company, India reinventing a lot of the fuel systems with the Bosch facilities in India. Just telling what's happening is a big part of it. Everything else, yes, the structure is critical. Those things will come in time. But telling the world what we have right now is the first big step. And that itself will create a new impression. We are not just a call center saying, how can I help you? But how can I help you design a new thing? That's part of it.
Thank you, Vikas.
Well, I can't add any more, but the only thing I would say, if you can make India to be the place where we come for products, both to sell and to take it other places in the world, that should be the goal for the NASSCOM.
Thank you, Alok. Any other questions? Yeah, we'll take probably one. There's two more, I believe. Yeah, you can pass them on. Please.
Hi, this is Barry Brigadier from Opti in the UK. In the UK, the engineering market is largely governed by SME companies, and it appears to me that most of the outsourcing service providers in India, in engineering and wider, seem to only target the corporate market. Is the SME market, and in particular the middle market, been largely ignored, and therefore a lot of the value that service providers could provide been largely ignored as well? It's about the middle market. In the UK, for instance, most of the engineering companies are middle-sized companies, and it appears to me that they've been largely ignored.
Actually, you start with the most obvious, and that's why you see the vendors going after the big companies in the world. But there are a lot of vendors in India now who are actually working with the mid-level companies in UK, Europe, Germany, US for that very purpose. The operating model and the business model they're using to service those markets are very, very different, which is not a part of your question, but the reality is it's happening. It's happening under the radar screen. And there are some constraints too. If you are below X number of engineers, like 50 engineers, it's hard to do much given the cost involved with the setting it into operation. But still, we know many companies in India, especially the tier 2 kind of engineering service providers, who are working very aggressively in that sector of the market. The big guys like Mohan's Corporation or TCS or Infosys, it is true, they are not focusing on that right now. But there's so much for them to do at the top end of the market. It's unlikely they'll get to it in the next couple of years. But you're right. I mean, there is a big market there, and the point is it's being serviced right now.
Great point, because in terms of saying the business model has to be different. Today, the current business model is largely catering to larger engagements as opposed to the small ones. And because that's one other very important point, one has to also be careful about the overhead that one has to run. But primarily, I guess, if you look into a little more further into horizon, as India changes into a mode where we'll become more innovative, we can probably provide alternative solutions, then people will come for an end-to-end engineering. At that point of time, I think then it won't make a difference whether it's coming from a small company or a big company. But in the current mode of things, in the current technological competencies and the skills that we have, we probably are more leaning towards the larger companies. Yes, sir.
I'm Ron Larkin with Kimberly-Clark Corporation. You've spoken at length about resources and getting them aligned with projects so they're effective. Speaking in terms of the third-party engineering outsourcing, I'm especially interested in what are the special techniques or incentives you found are important to retaining that talent beyond the obvious aspects of integrating into projects so that you keep these people as partners beyond the project cycle perhaps much longer.
How to retain engineering talent is a question. Can we start with the comment? Okay.
In our Bangalore facility, we're not immune from the forces that are in the market in India. And one of the things we've done is allowed movement within the team in Bangalore. So maybe somebody who's been working on sunroofs will start working on door systems so they can have a new challenge. It doesn't make the product groups very happy, but at least they're still building a confidence level, and there's an opportunity to recycle them back into the same group that they were in before after they capture a little more experience. There's a lot of different things you can do. I mean, what I see around the globe is that engineers are motivated by mostly the same things. One, being recognized as for their accomplishments, and two is seeing clearly where they fit within the career path structure within the company. So I think Alok talked about that a little bit in terms of being able to move to other markets around the world and other technical centers around the world. And that's pretty universal around the world.